Hello everyone, I'm Kevin Nelson. Here's a look at what's going on this week in the news, and we begin with news from the Vatican. In the first consistory of Pope Francis's papacy, approximately 150 cardinals and cardinals designate gathered in the Vatican Synod Hall to focus on the family. Rome Reports has more from the Vatican.
Pope Francis kicked off the first consistory of his pontificate. He arrived early at 9:12 a.m. After greeting each other, the cardinals set in for a long and intense workday. Their main topic of discussion is one of the Church's main concerns, the state of families today.
La famiglia oggi è disprezzata e maltrattata. E quello che ci è chiesto è di riconoscere quanto è bello, vero e buono formare una famiglia, essere famiglia oggi, quanto è indispensabile questo per la vita del mondo, per il futuro dell'umanità.
The Pope asked cardinals to ensure that the Church accompanies all couples, but he also explained how the work from the extraordinary consistory will help them do it.
Cercheremo di approfondire la teologia della famiglia e la pastorale che dobbiamo attuare nelle condizioni attuali. Facciamolo con profondità e senza cadere nella casistica, perché farebbe inevitabilmente abbassare il livello del nostro lavoro. E anche con una pastorale intelligente, coraggiosa e piena d'amore.
Before the consistory, Pope Francis met for the third time with his International Council of Cardinals, an 8-member group advising him on the reform of the Vatican bureaucracy and other issues. The council is rumored to be working on a draft of an apostolic constitution that would reorganize the Roman Curia. The council is expected to meet again with the Pope in April and July, maintaining a pattern of gathering roughly every 2 months. In news now from around the world, more than 100 people are reported dead after political violence erupted in the capital city of the Ukraine. Now Pope Francis and Major Archbishop of the Ukraine Greek Catholic Church are calling for an end to the fighting. Rome Reports has the details.
Clashes between protesters and police claimed dozens of lives in Ukraine as Pope Francis appealed for calm and an end to violence in the divided country. During the general audience, the Pope called on both sides of the conflict to seek harmony and peace.
Con l'animo preoccupato, seguo quanto in questi giorni sta accadendo a Kiev. Assicuro la mia vicinanza al popolo ucraino e prego per le vittime delle violenze, per I loro familiari e per I feriti.
For months, protesters have lashed out against their government for severing ties with Europe and cooperating more with Russia. In his statement condemning the increase of violence, Sviatoslav Shevchuk, the major archbishop of the Ukrainian Greek Catholic Church, said he held the president responsible. But he also called for an immediate end to the bloodshed. In his statement, the leader of Ukrainian Greek Catholics also called on members to fast and pray in solidarity with victims.
More news now from the Vatican. According to Pope Francis, the worst thing about growing old isn't becoming weaker or infirmed. It's the abandonment, the exclusion, the deprivation of love in today's throwaway culture. The Pope's remarks came in a message to bioethicists, scientists, healthcare professionals, religious theologians, and other experts attending the Pontifical Academy for Life's February workshop on aging and disability. In the message, the Pope talked about the importance of the family in learning the real value of life and the duty of solidarity. In the family, the Pope said, people learn that taking care of others is a foundation of human existence. In news from Ireland, thousands of people attended the annual novena to Our Lady of Perpetual Help in Ireland's Galway Cathedral. Susan Gately of Catholic News Service was on hand and brings us this report.
The impressive cathedral in Galway on Ireland's west coast is the venue for the largest faith event in the west of Ireland, the Galway Solemn Novena. Up to 10,000 people have been making their way to this church every day this week for the annual novena to Our Lady of Perpetual Help, which has been running at the cathedral for the last 32 years.
We have 6 sessions each day. Usually you have a Mass, the Eucharist, you have petitions and thanksgivings, and we have lovely singing, good preaching, all within about 45 minutes. It's very real, and people get to hear their voice. We hear the cries of God's people.
My dear mother, our family has had such a bad year in 2013. We've had illness, sudden death, bankruptcy, and so much more. I pray that 2014 will be better.
So it's really important for people to be able to come and express what is deepest within them, write it, get it out, get it in writing, and have it read, and have it heard, and have it held by the people. Mary points to Jesus, and she points to Jesus in his suffering and his overcoming suffering. We're drawn into Mary, saying, I'll be there for you, and I'm only a mirror image of God who is there for you.
Novenas to Our Lady of Perpetual Help date back to the 1860s, arriving in Ireland in the 1940s. Yet even today they hold a strong appeal.
And finally in the news, after 7 long years of work, the San Antonio missions are now one step closer to a World Heritage Site designation. Once the process is complete, the missions would join the ranks of the Statue of Liberty, the Grand Canyon, and Stonehenge. U.S. Secretary of the Interior Sally Jewell announced that the official U.S. nomination had been made. The document was sent in January to the Paris headquarters of the UN Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization's World Heritage Committee. Well, that is all the information we have for you at this time. I'm Kevin Elson. Don't forget, you can keep up to date on Catholic news throughout the week with Catholic Newsbreak right here on the Catholic TV Network.